Classic psychedelics don't interact with the brain's reward system that causes dependence and addiction. Basically, without getting too technical, dopamine being a primary brain rewarder is not really, the dopaminergic systems of the brain are not that robustly responsive to classic psychedelic compounds. Obviously, there are some more hybrid psychedelic compounds that may have some activity there, but even those, it's minimal. And so in the sense of reinforcing deep pathological learning, which basically becomes addiction, there's just not the neurochemical realities that allow these substances to become problematic in the same way that cocaine, meth, heroin, alcohol can be.
Addiction, gambling, food, money, sex. I mean, yes. I just want to also expand that addiction frame beyond drugs.
Right. Sure. Sure. So, and in terms of lethal dose, in terms of overdose, the naturally occurring psychedelic plants do not have lethal doses. Well, probably extreme amounts. Yes, they might. So overdose is not typically associated with the use of psychedelic drugs. Now, is it possible that some people misuse psychedelic drugs? Well, sure. There are some sort of maybe obsessive fascinations with altered states, which is something that we occasionally see, but it's not at the same level of what we think of drugs of abuse. It doesn't have that same profile. So,
Dr. Sackett, you look like you're just jumping up and down to hop in on this one. So I'll turn.
Todd gave it an eloquent answer, exactly how I would. I will just say that when we talk about overdose, we think predominantly about opiates, right? And the opiates, the way they act on the brain is they act on the respiratory center. So they basically, their brainstem responds in such a way that they stop breathing, and that's how you overdose. Psychedelics don't work anywhere in the respiratory center. So there's really no concern about overdose from that perspective, from like a respiratory depression perspective. Similarly, like Todd alluded to, the lethal dose is for the natural occurring compounds like psilocybin is so high. I think I read somewhere it was something to the order of like 600 kilograms per mil. I mean, it's some absurd number that a human couldn't even consume, that is theorized to be a lethal dose. So the naturally occurring compounds are profoundly safe from a physiologic perspective.
Just to add, we did mention ibogaine. There are some substances which require a little bit more attention to like cardiac, cardiovascular, electrical issues, and I think that's part of like why it's helpful to to decriminalize, because people can actually seek out information. It's a little bit easier to like get advice from health professionals, so that you don't end up in any overdose or overuse for your particular health condition or need. I think that's a really important point around safety.